mostly we are in the post-debate era right now, and it is not going well for the Republican Party. Donald Trump apparently is refusing now to debate because, of course, he won. And I think it was Thune, the number 2 in the Senate, has come out and said he sort of thinks that Trump should probably try it again. And the reason why, and we'll talk more about this with Digby, is because there doesn't seem to be on the horizon any type of event, or really, frankly, a narrative in which an event can take place that would change the overall trajectory of this election at this point. Now, granted, Trump apparently is rolling out his kids' cryptocurrency in a couple of days. And that may, I guess, change some narrative, at least for his kids, that they'll have a sinecure, as it were, in the wake of Trump losing, if he does lose. But there doesn't seem to be anything else going on there. But meanwhile, this is happening. People made fun of the cats and dogs thing, and I think that's helpful. I think it's appropriate to mock the fact that Trump is lured in like some Fox watching, Newsmax watching, Gateway pundit reading, old, disturbed man. But understand that fundamentally, this is not a story about Donald Trump being essentially sucked in by a fake rumor. This is the Republican Party's and Donald Trump's unmitigated hatred of immigrants, racism, and xenophobia. That's what this story is about. And here is J.D. Vance on CNBC, I think it is. What clip number is this? Oh, here it is. It's number 10. Yeah, this is him on CNBC trying to justify. Now it's moved past the reason why you should have a problem with legal immigrants from Haiti. Understand, they are here under temporary protected status. They are legal immigrants. Legal immigration. That's what we hear. All we want is legal immigration. They're here legally. The problem with immigration is not that people come here and they eat geese or they eat cats or dogs. The real problem, says J.D. Vance, is that immigration is just bad.
Town. If the path to prosperity was flooding your nation with low-wage immigrants, then Springfield, Ohio would be the most prosperous country and the most prosperous city in the world. America would be the most prosperous country in the world because Kamala Harris has flooded the country with 25 million legal aliens.
All right, pause.
What's actually happening?
Some of you may have picked up on the fact that America is, in fact, the most prosperous country on the world, and it is all a function of immigration, really, when you get down to it. But let's look at Springfield, the town. Is it the most prosperous town in the country? No, not yet. But has immigration to that town, and certainly there is no place in the country, there's no place in the world you could go where you have a town of 40 to 60,000 people, and there's an influx of 10 to 15,000 people, regardless of who those 10 to 15,000 people are, where it's not going to create tension and problems and a new set of problems because you fundamentally altered the nature of the town. Matt has talked about this happening in like Wyoming, in COVID, but it's really just a bunch of rich people coming and implicating things. There are, and this happens in actually a lot of rural places in the wake of COVID. A lot of city dwellers moved out there because they decided time to give up on the city. I want to live in a more rural area. But putting that aside, in terms of prosperity, what happens when you have, according to the city, 10 to 15,000 new immigrants over the course of a couple of years? What does it do to the city. We have definitely seen a large increase in rents, and which you would imagine because you either had a bunch of like empty homes, or there suddenly becomes increased demand and you need to start building more, and that's going to take a while to catch up. But what you also saw, according to the Springfield News Sun, a trusted news service, as you can see, from since 1898, city hits $1 billion in tax values, works on 2024 budget. Scroll down here. As Springfield City Commissioners received a preview of finances for 2024, where are the numbers here? Okay, yeah, the tax revenues have increased from right at the top there. For the first time in city history, the assessed tax valuation topped $1 billion for 2023. The previous year's total was $864 million. That is a jump of more than 15% year over year in tax revenues. Apparently, the city passed a levy that is going to allow the city to continue to operate. Now, this levy was passed back in 2017, but the bottom line is you have more economic activity going there. I don't know what's going to constitute prosperity in the mind of J.D. Vance, but things are definitely improving.
Yeah. You need people to move to your cities. None of these cities, like in the Midwest, like they're all again built by sort of migration, different patterns, of course. The point is to have labor protections, and then to make that sort of economic activity benefit labor. Exactly.
Next stop, let's see some unionization of those that factory that we saw the other day on that PBS show.
And unions, in fact, do lead a lot of these areas in helping protect both wages for the people who are already there and integrate people who are coming in.
And also, studies have shown that in 2022, undocumented immigrants paid almost $100 billion in taxes. Because if you're undocumented, you don't say, hey, I don't need to pay taxes. I'm not a citizen of this country. You just pay the taxes that get pulled out of your paycheck. Yeah. So regardless of how you look at it, documented, undocumented, if we have a problem with low wages in this country, as Vance implies, like, let me put it this way. The low wages don't come with these workers. The low wages emanate out of the capitalists who own these means of production. And if we want to interfere in that relationship, we can do that.
Yeah, these cities are dying without this influx. The idea that it's immigrants that are killing these cities it's a Nazi lie.
It's literally a Nazi lie. Literally. We played the Nazi the other day who was speaking in front of. And I've seen this, like, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later in the program, but there's a video going around that Benny Johnson of Tenet Media and Russian subsidy fame, inadvertent, he was victimized by Russian subsidies, was promoting. And I've watched the video. In addition to it basically featuring, I think, 4 white residents, pre-existing residents, non-immigrant residents of Springfield, Ohio, 2 or 3 of which were outwardly racist. It also clearly proved that no one was eating cats or dogs, that the Haitian immigrants there maybe need better driving lessons, maybe, and are all seemingly very nice people who, when they're accused of eating cats and dogs, just sort of laugh and think it's sort of a hilarious lie to tell about them. Meanwhile, today in Springfield, Ohio, or I should say yesterday, everything is closed. City Hall, schools. There are bomb threats all over the city because of the lies that Donald Trump told and because of the anti-immigrant narrative that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump and, frankly, the entire Republican apparatus thinks will behoove them in their election. That's what's going on there. So congratulations to the Republican Party.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with even like this car crash thing. I think it's probably less about driving and more about if you do get in an accident with somebody who happens to not be a white person, maybe don't have a racist hysteria born out of it. I don't know.
I mean, I have no doubt that there are differences, cultural difference in terms of driving. You come from Haiti to a small town. I have no doubt that those exist. And
that's in the DMV.
Yeah, let's fund the DMV more. I mean, a bunch of the complaints in that film, and it for whatever reason, the guy opens it up with like blatantly racist stuff. In addition to playing footage of a completely non-related, non sequitur woman who was in Columbus, Ohio, who's an American citizen who killed a cat. Is these people being the most sort of like vile racists you could imagine, and the guy sort of chuckling it off. He really enjoys it. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.